Hey Squids, hope that assessment went okay. Now it's time to start thinking about the second part of our model. So the first part of our model was the sound source, and we figured out that it vibrated depending on how much energy was applied to it. If a lot of energy was applied, it moved a lot. If just a little was applied, it only moved a little bit. But now we want to figure out what happens in that second part of the model when the sound moves from the sound source to the window. So it comes from the speaker to the window, and then it makes the window vibrate. How does that happen? So we're going to investigate that second part right now. In order to do that, you're going to follow along a presentation and a document. Also this video. Kids, videos are awesome if you pause them sometimes when you need to do something and do the work and then keep going. You don't have to watch the whole video at once. You can stop it and complete it as you go along. Okay, so keep that in mind. A video is just a really nice way to kind of go at your own pace through an investigation. Okay, so here we are in assignment 8. You've completed the summative assessment. You're watching the video. You'll need this document and this presentation. When you open that document, it looks like this, and the presentation, looks like this, okay? So basically what you do is you start going through this. First of all, it says, open this document and make sure it's in a tab right next to the presentation. Okay, so you've got the document and the presentation right next to each other. And it'd be great if you put both of the documents into your Science 2020 folder right here, right? 2020 Waves is where I have it, but you should have it in 2020 Science. Okay, so then think about this. The first thing you're going to do is go back to your initial model. You want to read every slide. So I'll go through the first one with you, and then the rest of them you kind of do on your own. So it says, think about it. We figured out a lot about one part of a model, but we still have questions that we need to answer to fully explain what's happening in the truck window video. So you want to revisit your initial model and answer the questions in your Thinking Deeper document. So the questions are, what ideas did we have about the question? What's actually traveling between the speaker and the window? And what were your ideas there? So let's look here. It says, what ideas did you have about the question? What's actually traveling between the speaker and the window? So go ahead and answer that question. And what did you actually put on your model? Those two questions might actually be the same, but maybe things have changed a little bit. So go ahead and answer those two questions. Pause the video while you finish that. Okay, next you'll go here and to this one, planning an investigation. It says, find the investigation plan table in your Thinking Deeper document. Record the following question. I've already put it in there. Is air moving all the way from the sound source to our ears or the window when sounds are produced? Right? Is the air carrying the sound from the sound source to our ears or the window? Right? So that's the investigation. That's what you're going to investigate right here. How will we investigate this? So look at slide D. And you can see right here at the top, this is slide D. It says, how could we use this container and a cell phone to help us figure out if air is moving all the way from this sound source to our ears? So think about it. What could you do with a cell phone and a Rubbermaid container to figure out if it's the air that is causing the sound in our ears? Take a minute to think about it, pause the video, and write your answers right here. Brainstorm it. Think about what could you do with a cell phone and a container to see if it's the air that is causing the sound to come to our ears. Pause and answer question 2. Okay, so now that you've done that, the next slide says, In your investigation plan table in your Thinking Deeper document, brainstorm and record your ideas for the following questions. What are the possible outcomes of this investigation? So think to yourself, okay, we've got the cell phone and the container. If we do this, whatever you've said, what would be the outcome? What would be the result? Or if we did something else, what would be the result? And what would that tell us? So for example, well, I can't give you an example because I don't want to give it away. So just be thinking, what are you doing with the cell phone and the container? What do you hope that will tell you? Okay, so that's what you would put in slide right here and right here. What would those outcomes tell us? So take some time to think about how you're going to run this investigation and what it would say. Okay, then now you actually get to watch the investigation right here. This is a video of somebody putting a cell phone and a box together and trying this out. So then jot down your observations in the space under box 5. Right here, they've already done the investigation. And write it down here. What did you observe in the video? What claims can you make? Go ahead and write your answers here. Okay? All right. In slide G, on slide G right here, in the space under box 5, what claim could you make about the results? What claim about how sound is traveling can you make based on the results of the video that you just watched? Okay? And then basically you did hear sounds coming from the sealed container. So how could you make sure that no air is really being that the air is really being blocked and that no air is getting in or out? So how could you just do that? And what we're going to do is part 2. I'm going to pause this right now. I'm going to stop this video and I will actually have a part 2 video to continue this investigation.